Hello all, it's Ruthie here. Today I'm going to try out a historical technique for arranging flowers because I think it might work better than the modern method of using oasis or floral foam. The thing with oasis or floral foam is it's actually a plastic, which means when it's used up you have to throw it in the bin. It doesn't compost and it doesn't last forever because eventually it just crumbles away till it's no good at all. So I remember this technique I read in a really old book, and on, I think it was the cultivation and presentation of flowers. That wasn't the name, but that was the subject, and it was a really old book, I think probably over 100 years ago. So we're going to try the wire bowl technique, and I suppose I'll find out with you whether I like it or not. Let us begin. Okay, so from what I remember, it was a long time ago since I read this book. It said you just take a bowl. This is going to be an arrangement for a dinner party, because it was a very old book, very Downton Abbey vibe. I don't actually watch Downton Abbey, but I do like reading books about that, the history of that era. So according to this book, from what I recall, you just get wire and you just tease it out till you've got a great big messy bowl like that, ball like this. And this is so much fun. I am a European trained florist. It's a different standard of floristry, and we use a lot of wire, and it is so finicky. And this is actually really fun and refreshing. Then you just, according to the book, I've never tried this before. I wanted to try this for a long time, but I never got around to it. You just sort of tease out your wire till it fills out the bowl. And then you fill that up with water. Okay. And apparently what should happen is this should create a sort of structure for us to pop our greenery and whatnot in. I'm going to make this, I go on a lot about the rules of thirds, but I'm actually going to do something that's really cute today. I want it sort of short, low. I can sort of imagine myself sitting at it. Well, I wanted it to be sort of like a formal arrangement for sitting at a dining room table, but I think actually the bowl is a little bit too big for that, so I'm just going to make it pretty. And what I'm going to go for is I'm going to go for a symmetrical sort of ball shape. So I sort of want the bottom and the top to match each other. I think that's what I'm feeling. I've got to say, that's pretty good so far. So far it looks like the ancients were right. So I absolutely love history. I don't think that surprises many people when they hear me say that. Oh yeah, this is working really well. But I do sometimes have people say to me, oh, I bet you wish you were born in another century. And the answer is absolutely not. I love being alive in this century. I mean, we have penicillin, we have inner-sprung mattresses, we have air conditioning, we have coffee. And the other day, I was out looking at the stars, and I saw this enormous, it was like a caterpillar or a parade or a train of stars just moving across the sky in a perfect straight line. And I rushed inside because I thought, I actually want Mum and Dad to see that, because they might never believe me if I say, oh, I saw these stars in a perfect straight line. And Dad's like, oh yeah, that's Elon Musk's Starlink. And I thought, it's actually quite a cool time to be alive, really. I mean, it's not a perfect time. There are things we don't like, for sure. But, you know, there are certainly things that are quite jolly, really. I mean, people are going to write books about this time in history. They absolutely are. And, I think that's quite a thought when you think about it. So, regarding colour, usually I'm very keen on contrast, but I just love the subtlety of this bowl, which Mum brought home for me the other day. She's so good. She's like, I saw this and I just thought you would like it, and boy was she right. She's currently been dispatched to the supermarket to get spices for me because I want to try and invent some kind of pumpkin cake with our heritage pumpkins, which we accidentally grew. Actually, that sounds really bossy. She was going anyway, and I said, oh, can you please get me spices for a cake? She's like, oh yes, definitely, because you'll eat it. You know what? This I love this. I actually love this. Oh, here's a trick. When you want to snip it at the top, make sure you snip it close to a leaf, just a little bit more subtle. That's what you learn when you're studying for a floristry exam. I never took the exam. We moved to America just before I took the exam. Oh, here comes Mum, and she appears to have my spices. I hope those are my spices. Oh, anyway, so for colour, I just decided to go with a really subtle white, yellow and cream look. I just thought that would be really, really elegant. Now, when you're starting off as a florist, I do recommend going for a symmetrical arrangement. It's just going to come out a lot more pleasing. You just try and make everything sort of match. The asymmetrical ones where they're not the same, they take a little bit more training to do, a little bit more, I should say practice. Generally found artistic people will work out whatever they need to do just by doing it, but it takes a little bit more practice. So these are just satisfying. This is the kind of arrangement you just do for yourself around the house because it's fun and it's relaxing and always puts me in a really good headspace just to make an arrangement for fun, you know. Now I put in my soft fluffy stuff and I'm just going to start building up my bits and pieces. The flowers are not looking great in the garden at the moment. We have had absolute scorching days in Australia, and in our part of Australia I should say, and everything's looking a bit roasted, but you don't let that worry you. This is a lovely thing about not working as a commercial florist anymore. I can just put things together and glory in their imperfections and say, oh, that's so pretty. Well, I've got to say that I absolutely love this historical technique. It might even work out cheaper. I don't know. I'd have to do a little mathematical equation. Oh, it would definitely work out cheaper for around the house because you can just reuse. I don't know that it would work out cheaper for a florist. And also, I do think one of the reasons this is working is I'm using quite a solid pottery bowl. I think if you were using the kind of things commercial florists use, like a little plastic container or a paper box with a plastic lining, I don't know that it would hold because it's the Oasis, once it's soaked full of water, is really heavy and it gives you quite a lot of stability. So I think the reason it's working is I have a very quality bowl. But I gotta say, as far as a flower arranging technique for around the home goes, I'm really enjoying this. Just really lovely. I think that's really pretty actually. Just stick a few more fluffy things in it around the edge. You see, this is the way to do life, I think. I think that we should be very grateful for the exciting things we get living in this century, but we should also not throw away the really good things. And a lot of the really good things from the past can be found in books. And I think it's good to read those books and find those things. So while we enjoy our coffee and our air conditioning and our penicillin and our inner sprung mattresses and gaze up into the sky and see Starlink, we can also enjoy 100-year-old flower arranging techniques, and I suppose on a deeper level we can continue to read books and gain wisdom from the past while we enjoy the progress of the future. I think that's really pretty. I am absolutely stoked with that. I think that was a lot easier to do than using the Oasis too, so give it a go. Give it a go. Beautify your home. Let me know how it goes. Thank you for watching. Bye bye.